What's up, y'all? It's your girl Shirley SHRM, and today we are covering the 2022 SHRM Glossary. So get out your notebooks, your pens, and your highlighters, and let's get into it. ADA stands for Americans with Disabilities Act, and ADAA stands for Americans with Disabilities Act Amendments Act. ADDIE stands for Analysis, Design, Development, Implementation, and Evaluation. The ADDIE model is a 5-step instructional design framework that guides the design and development of learning programs. ADIA is the Age Discrimination in Employment Act. An ADR is an alternative dispute resolution, which is an umbrella term for the various approaches and techniques, other than litigation, that can be used to resolve a dispute, such as arbitration, conciliation, and mediation. Analytics are tools that add context or subclassifying comparison groups to data so that the data can be used for decision support. An applicant is a person who applies for or formally expresses interest in a position. Arbitration is a method of alternative dispute resolution by which disputing parties agree to be bound by the decision of one or more impartial individuals to whom they submit their dispute for final determination. An assessment center is the process by which job candidates or employees are evaluated to determine suitability and/or readiness for employment, training, promotion, or an assignment. ATS stands for Applicant Tracking System, which is a software application that automates organizations' management of the recruiting process, such as accepting application materials and screening applicants. Balance sheets are statements of an organization's financial position at a specific point in time, showing assets, liabilities, and shareholder equity. A balanced scorecard is a performance management tool that depicts an organization's overall performance as measured against goals, lagging indicators, and leading indicators. Benchmarking is the process by which an organization identifies performance gaps and sets goals for performance improvement by comparing its data, performance levels, and/or processes against those of other organizations. Benefits are mandatory or voluntary payments or services provided to employees, which typically cover retirement, health care, sick pay and disability, life insurance, and paid time off. BFOQ stands for Bona Fide Occupational Qualification, which is a factor, such as gender, religion, or age, that is reasonably necessary in the normal operations of an organization to carry out a particular job function. A bias is a partiality or an inclination or predisposition for or against something. A business case is a tool or document that defines a specific problem, proposes a solution, and provides justifications for the proposal in terms of time, cost efficiency, and probability of success. Business intelligence is the raw data, which may be internal or external to an organization, that is translated into meaningful information for decision makers to use in taking strategic action. A business unit is an element or segment of an organization that represents a specific business function, such as accounting, marketing, or production. Business units also may be called departments, divisions, groups, cost centers, or functional areas. Buy-in is the process by which a person or group provides a sustained commitment in support of a decision, approach, solution, or course of action. The candidate experience is the perception of a job seeker about an employer based on interaction during the complete recruitment process. Career development is the progression through a series of employment stages characterized by relatively unique issues, themes, and tasks. Career mapping is the process by which organizations use visual tools or guides to depict prototypical or exemplary career possibilities and paths in terms of sequential positions, roles, and stages. Career pathing is the process by which employers provide employees with a clear outline for moving from a current to a desired position. A cash flow statement is a statement of an organization's ability to meet its current and short-term obligations by showing incoming and outgoing cash and cash reserves in operations, investments, and financing. A center of excellence is a team or structure that provides expertise, best practices, support, and/or knowledge transfer in a focused area. CEO stands for Chief Executive Officer, while CFO stands for Chief Financial Officer. A change initiative is a transition in an organization's technology, culture, or behavior of its employees and managers. Change management is the principles and practices for managing a change initiative so it is more likely to be accepted and to receive the resources necessary, such as financial, human, physical, etc., to reshape the organization and its people. CHRO stands for Chief Human Resource Officer. Coaching is focused, interactive communication and guidance intended to develop and enhance on-the-job performance, knowledge, or behavior. COBRA stands for Consolidated Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act. An organization's code of conduct is a document that summarizes the standards of business conduct for an organization, such as rules, values, ethical principles, and vision. Comparable worth is the concept that jobs that are primarily filled by women and require skills, effort, responsibility, and working conditions comparable to similar jobs primarily filled by men should have the same classifications and salaries. Competencies are clusters of highly interrelated attributes, including knowledge, skills, abilities, and other characteristics that give rise to the behaviors needed to perform a given job effectively. Compliance is the state of being in accordance with all national, federal, regional, and/or local laws, regulations, and/or other government authorities and requirements applicable to the places in which an organization operates. Conciliation is a method of non-binding alternative dispute resolution by which a neutral third party tries to help disputing parties reach a mutually agreeable decision, such as mediation. A conflict of interest is a situation in which a person or organization may potentially benefit, either directly or indirectly, from undue influence due to involvement in outside activities, relationships, or investments that conflict with or have an impact on the employment relationship or its outcomes. COO stands for Chief Operating Officer. Cost-benefit analysis is an approach to determining the financial impact of an organization's activities and programs on profitability by comparing value created against the cost of creating that value. Critical path is the amount of time needed to complete all required elements or components of a task, which is determined by taking into account all project-task relationships. CSR stands for Corporate Social Responsibility, and CSR is an organization's commitment to operate ethically and contribute to economic development while improving the quality of life of the workforce and their families, as well as of the local and global community. Culture is the basic beliefs, attitudes, values, behaviors, and customs shared and followed by members of a group, which give rise to the group's sense of identity. Diversity is the differences between individuals on any attribute that may lead to the perception that another person is different from the self. Due diligence is the requirement to thoroughly investigate an action before it is taken through diligent research and evaluation. EAP stands for Employee Assistance Program, and EOC stands for Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. E-learning is the electronic media delivery of educational and training materials, processes, and programs. Emotional intelligence is the ability to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions, and to handle interpersonal relationships judiciously and empathetically. Employee engagement is employees' emotional commitment to an organization, which is demonstrated by their willingness to put in discretionary effort to promote the organization's effective functioning. Employee experience is the sum of all touchpoints an employee has with an employer, including those related to an employee's role, workspace, manager, and well-being. Employee surveys are instruments that collect and assess information on employees' attitudes and perceptions of the work environment or employment conditions, such as engagement or job satisfaction. Employees: individuals who exchange their work for wages or salary. EPA stands for Equal Pay Act. Equality is the equal treatment of individuals and groups, while equity refers to the relative form of equality that takes into consideration the needs and characteristics of the individuals, the context of the situation, and circumstances that result in disparate outcomes. ERISA stands for Employee Retirement Income Security Act. Ethics are a set of behavioral guidelines that an organization expects employees at all levels to follow to ensure appropriate moral and ethical business standards. An evidence-based approach is an approach to evaluation and decision-making that utilizes data and research findings to drive business outcomes. EVP stands for Employee Value Proposition, which is employees' perceived value of the total rewards and tangible and intangible benefits they receive from the organization as part of employment, which drives unique and compelling organizational strategies for talent acquisition, retention, and engagement. An exit interview is a meeting held with an employee who is about to leave an organization, typically to discuss the employee's reasons for leaving and the employee's experience of working for the organization. FCRA stands for Fair Credit Reporting Act. FLSA stands for Fair Labor Standards Act, and FMLA Family and Medical Leave Act. A focus group is a small group of invited individuals, typically 6 to 12 people, who actively participate in a structured discussion in which a facilitator elicits input on a specific product, process, policy, or program. Gap analysis is a method of assessing a current state to determine what is needed to move to a desired future state. The gig economy is a free market system in which temporary positions are common and organizations hire independent workers for short-term commitments instead of full-time employees. GINA stands for Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act. Globalization is the status of growing interconnectedness and interdependency among countries, people, markets, and organizations worldwide. Governance is a system of rules and processes set up by an organization to ensure its compliance with local and international laws, accounting rules, ethical norms, internal codes of conduct, and other standards. A hazard is a potential harm that is often associated with a condition or activity that, if left uncontrolled, can result in injury or damage to people or property. HIPAA stands for Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, and HR stands for Human Resources. An HR service model is an approach to structuring and delivering an organization's HR services to support organizational success. HRBP stands for HR Business Partner, which is an HR professional who advises an organization's leaders in developing and implementing a human capital strategy that closely aligns with overall organizational mission, vision, and goals. HRIS stands for Human Resource Information System, which is used for gathering, storing, maintaining, retrieving, revising, and reporting relevant HR data. HRM stands for Human Resource Management. Inclusion is the extent to which each person in an organization is and feels welcomed, respected, supported, and valued as a team member. An individual development plan is a document that guides employees toward their goals for professional development and growth. Information management is the use of technology to collect, process, and condense information for the purpose of managing the information efficiently as an organizational resource. Integrity is the adherence to a set of ethical standards that reflect strong moral principles, honesty, and consistency in behavior. IT stands for Information Technology. Job analysis is the process of systematically studying a job to identify the activities, tasks, and responsibilities it includes, the personal qualifications necessary to perform it, and the conditions under which it is performed. A job description is a document that describes a job and its essential functions and requirements, such as knowledge, skills, abilities, tasks, reporting structure, and responsibilities. Job enlargement. Process of broadening a job's scope by adding different tasks to the job. Job enrichment is the process of increasing a job's depth by adding responsibilities to the job. Job evaluation is the process of determining a job's value and price to attract and retain employees by comparing the job against other jobs within the organization or against similar jobs in competing organizations. KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator, and a KPI is a quantifiable measure of performance that gauges an organization's progress towards strategic objectives or other agreed-upon performance standards. KSALS stands for knowledge, skills, abilities, and other characteristics. A labor union is a group of workers who formally organize and coordinate their activities to achieve common goals in their relationship with an employer or group of employers, such as a trade union. A lagging indicator is a type of metric describing an activity or change in performance that has already occurred. Leadership is the ability to influence, guide, inspire, or motivate a group or person to achieve their goals. Leadership development is interventions designed to help an individual gain the knowledge, skills, abilities, and other characteristics needed to engage with people and persuade them to work toward a vision or goal. A leading indicator is a type of metric describing an activity that can change future performance and predict success in the achievement of strategic goals. Liabilities are an organization's debts and other financial obligations. LMRA stands for Labor Management Relations Act, and M&A stands for Merger and Acquisition. An M&A is a process by which two separate organizations combine, either by joining together as relative equals or by one procuring the other. Manager development is interventions designed to help an individual gain the knowledge, skills, abilities, and other characteristics required to manage people and resources to deliver a product or service. Measurement is a process of collecting, quantifying, and evaluating data. Mediation is a method of non-binding alternative dispute resolution by which a neutral third party tries to help disputing parties reach a mutually agreeable decision, such as conciliation. Mentoring is a relationship in which one person helps guide another's development. An organization's mission statement is a concise outline of an organization's strategy that specifies the activities it intends to pursue and the course its management has charted for the future. MNC stands for Multinational Corporation, and motivation is the factors that initiate, direct, and sustain human behavior over time. Negotiation is the process by which two or more parties work together to reach agreement on a matter. NLRA stands for National Labor Relations Act. Offshoring is a method by which an organization relocates its processes or production to an international location through subsidiaries or third-party affiliates. Onboarding is the process of integrating a new employee with a company and its culture, as well as getting a new hire the tools and information needed to become a productive member of the team. A business's organizational effectiveness is the degree to which the organization is successful in executing its strategic objectives and mission. Organizational learning is the acquisition and/or transfer of knowledge within an organization through activities or processes that may occur at several organizational levels. ability of an organization to learn from its mistakes and adjust its strategy accordingly. Organizational values are the beliefs and principles defined by an organization to direct and govern its employees' behavior. Orientation is the process by which new employees become familiar with the organization and with their specific department, coworkers, and job. OSHA stands for Occupational Safety and Health Administration, which is the agency, while the OSH Act, or the Occupational Safety and Health Act, is the law. Outsourcing is a process by which an organization contracts with third-party vendors to provide selected services or activities instead of hiring new employees. A performance appraisal is the process of measuring and evaluating an employee's adherence to performance standards and providing feedback to the employee. Performance management includes the tools, activities, and processes that an organization uses to manage, maintain, and/or improve the job performance of employees. Performance measures are the data or calculations that compare an organization's current performance against key performance indicators. Performance standards are behaviors and results defined by an organization to communicate the expectations of management. PESEL analysis stands for political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental analysis, which is a method used to assess external factors and their influence on an organization. Position is the scope of work roles and responsibilities associated with one or more people. PTO stands for paid time off, and a realistic job preview is a tool used in the staffing/selection process to provide an applicant with honest, complete information about the job and work environment. Recruitment is the process by which an organization seeks out candidates and encourages them to apply for job openings. A regulation is a rule or order issued by an administrative agency of government, which usually has the force of law. Reliability is the extent to which a measurement instrument provides consistent results. Remediation is a process by which an unacceptable action or behavior is corrected. Remote work is work that is completed away from a company's office or other dedicated workspace. Remote work is sometimes called telework. Remuneration is an employee's total pay in the form of salary and wages received in exchange for employment, such as allowances, benefits, bonuses, cash incentives, and monetary value of non-cash incentives. Remuneration surveys are instruments that collect information on prevailing market compensation and benefits practices, such as base pay, pay ranges, starting wage rates, statutory and market cash payments, paid time off, or PTO, and variable compensation. Repatriation is the process by which employees, returning from international assignments, reintegrate into their home country's culture, conditions, and employment. Restructuring is the act of reorganizing the legal, ownership, operational, or other structures of an organization, and retention is the ability of an organization to keep its employees. A risk is an uncertainty that has an effect on an objective, where the effect may include opportunities, losses, and threats. Risk management is a system for identifying, evaluating, and controlling actual and potential risks to an organization, and which typically incorporates mitigation and/or response strategies, including the use of insurance. ROI stands for return on investment, which is data or calculation comparing an investment's monetary or intrinsic value against expended resources. Selection is the process of evaluating the most suitable candidates for a position, and a sense of belonging is the extent to which individuals feel that they are a part of, included in, and connected with people at their organization. Shared services are self-service or call center operations that promote HR expertise and deliver improved services across an organization. Six Sigma or Lean Six Sigma is a set of techniques and tools for process improvement that aim to increase quality by decreasing defects in processes. Lean Six Sigma also aims to increase speed by eliminating waste. Social media is internet technology platforms and communities that people and organizations use to communicate and share information, opinions, and resources. Socialization, the process by which people learn the knowledge, language, social skills, culture, and values of a group or organization. Sourcing is the process by which an organization generates a pool of qualified job applicants. Stakeholders are people affected by an organization's social, environmental, and economic impact, such as customers, employees, local communities, regulators, shareholders, and suppliers. Stay interviews are structured conversations with employees for the purpose of determining which aspects of a job, such as culture, engagement, leadership, organization, and satisfaction, encourage employee retention or may be improved to encourage retention. Strategic management is a system of actions that leaders take to drive an organization toward its goals and objectives. Strategic planning. Process of setting goals and designing a path toward organizational success. An organization's strategy is a plan of action for accomplishing an organization's overall and long-range goals. Succession planning is the process of implementing a talent management strategy to identify and foster the development of high-potential employees or other job candidates who, over time, may move into leadership positions of increased responsibility. Sustainability is the practice of purchasing and using resources wisely by balancing economic, social, and environmental concerns toward the goal of securing present and future generations' interests. SWOT analysis describes a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats analysis. A SWOT analysis is a method for assessing an organization's strategic capabilities through the environmental scanning process, which identifies and considers the internal and external factors that affect the achievement of organizational goals and objectives. Systems thinking is the process for understanding how seemingly independent units within a larger entity interact with and influence one another. Talent management refers to the system of integrated HR processes for attracting, developing, engaging, and retaining employees who have the knowledge, skills, abilities, and other characteristics to meet current and future business needs. Totalization agreements are bilateral agreements between countries that are created for the purpose of eliminating double taxation of employees on international assignments. Training is a process by which employees are provided with the knowledge, skills, abilities, and other characteristics specific to a task or job. Transformational leadership is a leadership style that focuses on challenging and developing members of an organization to attain long-range results through continuous evolution, improvement, or change based on the leader's vision and strategy. Transparency refers to the extent to which an organization's agreements, dealings, information, practices, and transactions are open to disclosure and review by relevant individuals. Turnover is the rate at which employees leave a workforce. ULP stands for unfair labor practice, which is a violation of employee rights that is prohibited under U.S. labor relations statutes. An unfair labor practice is a violation of employee rights that is prohibited under global labor relations statutes. Validity is the extent to which a measurement instrument measures what it is intended to measure. Value measures usefulness, worth, or importance. Variance analysis is a statistical method for identifying the degree of difference between planned and actual performance or outcomes. A company's vision is a description of what an organization hopes to attain and accomplish in the future, which guides it toward that defined direction. VP stands for Vice President, and the WARN Act stands for Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification Act. Work Life integration is an approach to create harmony among all areas of life, such as work, home/family, community, personal well-being, and health. Workforce planning is a strategic process by which an organization analyzes its current workforce and determines the steps required for it to prepare for future needs. A workspace solution is a modification of a job site, or way of doing a job, so an individual with a disability has equal access to opportunity in all aspects of work and is able to perform the job's essential functions. That's all for today's lesson. If you're interested in getting notified when we upload a new video, be sure to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. Remember, HR is more than just acronyms. It's about people and possibilities. Time to clock out until next time. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.